Good morning, it's 8:30. We're here with Kevin Danby on an update with the Hanford site. Morning, sir.
You ready?
We're all ready.
Well, I don't need to introduce myself because I know all of you either courtesy of the LTAC or we served on the Ephrata Chamber Board years ago,
Yeah.
and I'm still on that august body. But about a year and a half ago, I volunteered to be on the Hanford Advisory Board. And a lot of times I will refer to it as HAB. If you have any questions as I go through this, don't hesitate to stop me because I think I'm allotted 30 minutes and I only have about a 15-minute presentation. We'll first start with a Hanford timeline. The site began construction in the 40s, and at its peak there were 51,000 workers, and it made it the fourth largest city in Washington. They had a Sears Roebuck, banks, restaurants, and everything you can imagine a city of 51,000 people would have. In 1943 to 1945, the B reactor was built. And I've toured the B reactor, and what's fascinating about that is it was built in 11 months, and it's a very complex structure. And what is equally fascinating is because of the harsh working conditions, we're talking about cold, snow, dust, heat, they had to rotate crews. So imagine you're working on a project and you get furloughed, you literally drop your tools and then some guy comes in, picks the tools up and continues. How they were able to have that continuity is an amazing thing. That B reactor was shut down in 1968. And what was noteworthy of that reactor is it made the plutonium for the Nagasaki bomb. The Hiroshima bomb was actually assembled in Los Alamos in New Mexico. From 1944 to 1989, it made plutonium for Cold War weapons. When the Cold War ended, it shifted gears, and during that time frame, they also built new reactors. In 1989, the tri-party agreement was signed with the Department of Energy, US, EPA, and Washington Department of Ecology. So if I mention tri-party in the future, those are those three groups. It's really spearheaded by Department of Energy. When they began to clean up in the early 90s, the initial focus was the river corridor. Obviously, protecting the Columbia was paramount. Interesting facts, it's 580 square miles. So that's roughly 20 miles by 30 miles, just to kind of put it in perspective. In 30 months in the 40s, they built 554 buildings. And trust me, they built way more than that over the decades. When I got a kind of a private tour when I first became part of HAB, I was stunned at the number of structures that are out there. And I mentioned it to somebody and said, we've already demolished 1,000. So, I mean, it's just unbelievable. They built 386 miles of roads, 158 miles of railroad tracks, and now, I assume it's a Monday through Friday basis, there's 13,000 private workers there per day. So it has a huge impact on the Tri-Cities economy, needless to say. Why is Grant involved? Because the Hanford site encroaches on the Wahluke Slope and the Saddle Mountains. Now, one thing I want to share with you that drives me crazy, the number of acronyms that they have is incredible. And you guys could just take a quick look at that and pass it down. I'd like to get it back if at all possible.
You need the accurate acronym cheat sheet.
You know, they speak a foreign language, trust me. Okay. From 1965 to 1971, they closed the older reactors. The last reactor to be built was opened in 1963, and it produced electricity and plutonium until 1987. An interesting note is that in September 1963, President Kennedy was there for the opening of that reactor, and as we all know, 2 months later, he was assassinated. They're estimating to complete the cleanup. We all need to remain seated on this. It's stunning. $200 to $350 billion. And they're guessing possible completion in 2079. And so far, they've spent $75 billion. So it just gives you, they've hardly scratched the surface. There's 56 million gallons of waste in 177 large buried tanks. They didn't produce that much plutonium, but they created an enormous amount of waste. Now, looking at the map on the handout I gave you right here, Tom. The area is divided up into specific purposes. The 100 area is where the reactors, some are still there, but most are gone. The 200 area is waste processing and tank farms. The 300 area was for fuel fabrication, and the 400 area were test facilities. Now, getting into cleanup specifics, and I'm talking about present time. Has anybody heard of the term vitrification? Okay, what that is, where the word comes from, I'm not sure. I've seen it referred to as glassification. It's taking the waste and encapsulating it in glass, putting it in specialized containers and burying it on site at Hanford. They started doing that October 15th last year. And what was kind of interesting, it was right in the middle of the government shutdown, but the private contractors continued moving forward with that, and they started on time. Now, they spent 20 years of planning that with frequent stops and starts and millions of dollars spent. It's interesting out at Hanford, burying things is a real common practice. If they use a piece of equipment in an area where there could potentially be contamination, when they're done with that equipment, they can't surplus it or sell it. They bury it. So now in 2028, they're planning on shipping what's called transuranic waste to a location near Carlsbad, New Mexico. Transuranic waste is things like tools, clothing, rags, soil, debris contaminated with plutonium. What they've done, and they started this in 1979, is they've dug a 2,100-foot shaft into a natural salt mine and created large rooms, and they will take this waste and they will carve a hole in the wall, put the container in there, and over time that salt will entomb that waste just like it was cement. And these trucks will be, literally, if they have a cracked tail light, they get parked. I mean, it has to be, everything's perfect for these trucks to go from Hanford to New Mexico. They call that the Waste Isolation Pilot Plant. Of course, WIP. So another acronym. Now the 324 building, it's one of the remaining buildings in the 300 area. What's interesting about that is it's only a few hundred yards from the Columbia River and about a mile from the Hanford city limits. It was used for researching nuclear materials from 1966 to 1996. Demolition was planned in 2010, but they discovered that a leak had occurred in a hot cell in 1986. Hot cell is used for experimentation. It is a concrete chamber lined in stainless steel, and they had a spill with cesium and strontium, and they didn't realize the severity. And when they started the demo in 2010, they discovered that that leak had gone through the stainless steel and found expansion joints in the concrete and went down into the soil. So they had to step back in 2010 and go, whoa, we need to take another look at that. So they began again in 2022, but found the contamination had gone deeper than originally realized, and more importantly, wider, spread laterally. So right now they're still weighing options. The number one on the table looks like it's going to be to tent the entire structure to keep any airborne contamination from escaping. And they've done this in other places before with success. It would be the quickest method and the cheapest, and then deal with it from there. Now, we were asked to write an advice letter on this subject And we basically said on HAB that we don't care how you do it, just make sure that the public safety and workforce safety is the #1 priority. So getting to the Hanford Advisory Board, we provide written policy advice and recommendations to the tri-party. Topics can come from within the board or from without. It was formed in 1994, and it's 31 people coming from local government interests, which is what I represent, Hanford workforce, tribal interests, there's 3 tribes involved, Tri-Cities, public interest organizations, 2 people from Oregon, and 4 at large. Each member has an equal voice. I also represent Franklin County. And when I found that out early on, I went to our board chairperson. I said, why Franklin County? And she just looked at me with a deadpan look and said, it's just the position. So that's all I know. I'm guessing at some point in time, they didn't have anybody from Franklin, so they just tagged it on to the Grant County member. There's up to 5 subcommittees like cleanup, tank waste, and community outreach. I'm currently on, this is a mouthful, on the tank waste mission community support IM team. We see IM a lot, and IM stands for issue manager. We've got a Zoom meeting this afternoon. We were all asked to write a paper on this specific subject that we're looking at. It has to do with community outreach and keeping the community informed about tank waste cleanup and so forth, so on, to keep them involved and up to date. And I wrote about, well, maybe 3/4 of a page. Well, the document's 5 pages that we're going to talk about today. So it's fairly typical. There's a lot of people in the group, as I kind of indicated here, that either still work at Hanford or they're retired from Hanford. And so a lot of people with some incredible knowledge. Obviously, I'm a layperson, and I'm still, after a year and a half, still trying to get up to speed. Our primary concerns are safety of the workforce and public, groundwater, specifically the Columbia River, waste cleanup and disposal, future funding, because obviously no bucks, no Buck Rogers, and future land use, because as I've already mentioned, the current cleanup is extremely important to the Hanford economy. And if that were to stop, say tomorrow, you can imagine how devastating that would be. So they're starting to look down the road, whether they'll develop some of that land before it's cleaned up. I suspect they probably will. And they're talking about potential nuclear power plants and possibly data centers, of course. In general, we're frustrated over the slow progress, but you know, you're dealing with primarily the federal government, changes of administration, government shutdowns, that really fouled things up. We still don't have, I was planning on doing this presentation in November with the new 5-year plan. We still don't have the new 5-year plan. In terms of service, it used to be you could be on the HAB board forever. We had 2 people time out last year that had been on the board since 1994. And now it's limited to 3 2-year terms. So, any questions?
How many people are on that board now?
How many?
Yeah.
It's 31.
31.
It's a static number. Occasionally there will be an opening because they haven't been able to fill a position. Because of the government shutdown, a lot of people that were set to begin the term, and we function on basically a September 30th or October 1 to September 30th fiscal year. They haven't been ratified quite yet. I was fortunate, I'm in the middle of my 2-year term, so it's not a problem. But yeah, they try and maintain 31 from all those different entities that I mentioned.
So Carlsbad, New Mexico is the new Yucca Mountain.
Yes, yeah. I was going to mention Yucca Mountain, but yeah, they had an accident in Carlsbad in 2014 that I don't believe it had anything to do with Hanford, and so they had to rethink their methodology and retool things, and then it's up and going again. And then Hanford Waste is scheduled to be hauled out of there in 2028. Now, one of our concerns is the road network on the Hanford site, primarily built in the 40s, And it's one of the members that just timed out works at Hanford. She said that the traffic is terrible on that road. You can imagine 13,000 people going to work and 13,000 people coming home. And they need to redo that road if it's going to handle this heavy truck traffic. And Department of Energy so far said, we can't afford it. Well, they really can't afford not to. So we'll see what happens with that.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Do they, with the cesium spill, do they have like groundwater monitoring wells?
Yes, and the good news, and I didn't mention it, is that contamination is stable. And yes, they've got monitoring wells all over the place, especially near the Columbia. And I handed out another sheet that's Hanford cleaned up by the numbers. So far, they've treated, speaking of groundwater, 36.1 billion gallons of water. I got to tour that treatment plant. And this is the Hanford cleanup by the numbers to date. 1,061 waste sites remediated, et cetera. 974 facilities demolished. And I think it's 2025, so that's pretty current. But it'd be fun to talk to somebody from that period where they were producing plutonium and look at them and say, what were you thinking? Just throw this stuff in single wall and double wall tanks. And
Well, if you think about that time frame, they were thinking about national defense.
Yeah,
They were,
totally.
So
Totally.
they weren't.
I'm interested in it because my dad was in World War II. He was on the atomic bomb group, and he was on the island of Tinian when the Enola Gay took off both times. So he always had a fascination with the Manhattan Project.
I need your email address. I'll send you pictures of what Tinian looks like today.
But really?
Yeah, the airfields are still there, but they're completely grown over. You can see the jungle is just kind of taken over.
Wow.
But all the facilities are still there.
Yeah, it's KID, lowercase,
Yeah.
753@gmail.
Yeah, I flew over that island for 2 or 3 hours at about 200 feet, taking photos of it.
Wow. Yeah, my dad, he was
It's
a
wild.
staff sergeant. He had no idea what was going on. He just was there doing his job.
Yeah, the Air Force Base on Guam has got an incredible museum about all of that.
Interesting. Any other questions?
So is a B reactor, is that building, they have kind of a museum where you can go in and it looks like little post office, the old, the 2 little dials that you would have back in the day when you'd open your post office. But they have thousands of those dials for every one has a few dials.
It's just crazy complicated.
Yeah.
And I also got to tour the N reactor. But the only nuclear activity out there right now is Energy Northwest. They're actively producing power, and Energy Northwest, as probably a lot of you know, is what used to be Whoops. And that was the SATSUP debacle and so forth. And I lived in Olympia for 20 years, and I could see that SATSUP cooling tower all the time, but I think there's little question that nuclear energy is going to be the power of the future. And I think people are finally realizing that. I'm close friends with Tom Flint, as a PUD commissioner. A couple of years ago, he told me they were going to model it after naval nuclear power. And for me, that was kind of an aha moment, because you'd never hear about, a nuclear disaster on a naval ship. And they're small modular units that, instead of one big plant and they've got an issue, they have to shut the whole plant down. It's just to be a series of modular reactors. They only have to deal with that individual reactor. They don't have to use water like they used to, and they don't produce the waste like they used to. So I know Grant PUD has a site already selected here in Grant County for future nuclear project. Anything else?
Say your email address one more time.
Yeah, KID, lowercase 753@gmail. Well, thank you for allowing me to talk.
Thank you, Kevin.
Okay, can I give you up to date, since you were so kind as to nominate me for another 2-year term. I thought I would.
Well, thank you for doing it. And
Well-
is it Franklin County? Yeah, for both
Yeah,
counties.
yeah, that's just crazy.
should
You know,
get
I've
that.
added, you know, I've been on the Chamber of Commerce Board for 20+ years. I've done an LTAC for, I can't remember. I think Carol Ann Swartz was the chair when I first got involved, and I'm on the Civil Service Commission. And I have the advisory board, and I'm on the finance committee of our church. So I stay busy.
Enjoy retirement.
Yeah, well, you know, I
Well, thank you for serving.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
appreciate
yeah,
that.
well, it's,
That's what it looks like today.
oh, wow. Interesting. Too bad my dad's not alive.
Yeah.
No, we haven't had as many in-person meetings because of the shutdown as we used to. I think we're gonna get back into it, next month. And they do reimburse me for my lodging and mileage. And I've got my oldest son down in Richland just had a son, which represents our first grandchild.
Oh, wow.
So, which I haven't had the opportunity to see yet. My wife's been able to go down there and be a grandma. But the day I was gonna go down, there was that one day it snowed and I got near I-90 and I went, no, I don't think so. Okay, guys, have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you ever have any questions, the newspaper, what have you, don't hesitate to reach out. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, it's 8:51, we're going to recess until 9 o'clock. Good morning, it's 9 o'clock. We're here for our consent agenda review and work session. Got a few things going on today, huh?
2 walk-on requests. Oh,
Well, they're the letters of support. One is the one for us, the commissioners, signing our request for the coroner's office.
no, that one is on consent already.
Oh, okay. The one that I sent you this morning with all the wording?
Yes, I had the consent request
That's
on
right,
there,
that's right,
just not
okay.
the actual letter.
And that's written a little bit differently than the rest of them. It's a little bit more direct from us. And then the rest of the letters of support, and there's one from Freda, one from Moses Lake.
The one from Moses Lake, I will have for you guys at the meeting this morning.
What's the Moses Lake one?
Support for an environmental impact survey for the lake crossing.
And the letter of support for the city of Ephrata, there are 2 versions with that request. There's one that's directly from Tom and one that is from the board. So it'd be up to you guys which ones.
So Ray signed a letter of support for ours as the city administrator. And then I wrote, they're asking us to sign one for them. So I wrote it and signed it as the county administrator, but I thought it would be more impactful if it was coming from the commissioners. So there's 2. You guys can decide which one. I would prefer it come from the commissioners because I think it would be more impactful than coming from the county administrator, but they're looking for money for their police station and city hall. Public safety project.
You want to take a look at these, or?
Love to.
Okay, so I see like 20 and 21. Could they not be combined? I'm not saying, like, for me, it's not a whole lot of the work, but I know some of them.
2021. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, like 8 and 9 could probably be combined. I'm just wondering why we're not putting them all together, like on a statement instead of we're,
Carrie is online, so I will,
well, I mean, do you want, it's kind of up to you. It just seems like we should be, it looks like it's the same agreement. No, one is 3A, 3B, and 3C. Okay, 8 and 9 are different.
$1 million? Good Lord.
Expensive.
The error is still occurring, trying to get to the,
Different plan.
it's a Civic Plus
Well,
problem.
I guess one is 25 and one is,
So it's on the commissioner's webpage, though.
okay.
There's a link right at the top for it. And from what I understand, Keith has reached out, or someone from TS has reached out to Civic Plus, but they have not gotten a response back about how soon they'll have it fixed, so.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Number 26, approved capital purchase of $20,000 for trees. We're only spending 6,300. Will they be buying more trees, additional trees? Do you know?
As for the fairgrounds?
Yeah.
Yes, he's continuing his tree
Okay.
program.
We have a little tree planter. I don't know. It's a little thing. Gotta be careful because it could rip off a leg or a toe. But it is pretty crazy. It's like a chainsaw with a big auger, and you just go in the ground and it goes.
No kidding.
It'll cut through roots and everything. You gotta be careful because if it hits a root, you're not hanging on tight. It
It's
doesn't
gonna,
fall.
yeah, it's gonna spin you.
It was a little scary. I had to get my flip flops. Go trade in my flip flops or a pair of tennis shoes. I'm like, oh, this is a little aggressive.
The Japanese have got one that goes on the back of a skid steer. It looks like a hole saw that's 3 feet in diameter.
Oh, yeah.
And that thing goes down in the ground and all of a sudden it comes up and there's an arm that pushes out the slug. And you just, I wish we'd had it for our trees out here. It would have been
We
awesome.
have one for our orchard for our mini excavator. It
Yeah.
goes in and,
Yeah.
no, it's pretty slick. I don't think it was that expensive.
So on these rental chairs and tables for the fairgrounds, are they renting, do they rent those tables and chairs out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to pay to use them.
Yeah.
Okay, you're supposed to pay to use them.
You're supposed to.
There's not very many places that do that, so it's, I mean, nice to have that available to people.
Okay, so now that it's on the agenda, we'll talk about it again. Item number 15, approve request to waive security.
Oh, for the chamber.
Yeah,
Which item?
Yeah,
number 15.
so it sounds like, I mean, it sounds like that's a policy that's in place at the fairgrounds. Have security, especially when they're serving alcohol.
Mhm.
And there's a process to come to us to get a waiver. And if you don't do it, then obviously you're not gonna get the waiver.
Is that, so when Jim, I guess we probably need guidelines on, so we're not playing favorites like we're
I think
gonna.
alcohol should maybe have at least one.
Is this the one with the city councilman that didn't realize that security was required for events with alcohol and then? kind of went-
Well, I think it went
And it
from,
went from $900 to $1,200 because he went from, less than 300 to 350. And there's a number where it increases that security.
Which they had 4 of them there. Not that they would have done anything in an emergency.
Yeah.
Just looking at them, nothing.
But I think Jim's thought is that if there was an event and something happened,
Think about where you're moving that risk.
so
right?
I'm wondering, instead of like. on
Last
something-
time there was an event and something big happened, the security didn't do anything.
Oh.
They just walked around.
What happened?
A particular thing that happened at the carnival
Right.
a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah, I thought one took, but somebody in the past has taken down somebody, and they were probably wasn't supposed to.
That was out here on the front
Okay.
steps.
Well, I don't know, I feel like it is, so we had a little incident at somebody had to leave, like in a medical emergency. And then it was, one of our fair advisory members who had a key to open a gate
Right.
further down.
That was the code, by the way, in case we wouldn't
Yeah,
have guessed
no, I
that, right?
went and got it, I'm like, I had it
It's
going
the
the other way.
opposite of,
What I
I
thought
know
it
it.
was, yeah, I'm like, oh, God, I was thinking, I'm gonna go get robbed, but they ended up
it's already done.
getting a gate, and, yeah, they issued it through. But I do feel like they need somebody on staff, so because it appeared that there was,
They almost need a staff member, not security.
at these events, so when you
Yeah.
have something, you need something, because you're asking security and they really don't know, like, you're,
Right, and not on call, you
when
have to
you
be
have
at the
400
facility.
people there
Right.
and you need something, yeah, I would say that I know it's probably not convenient.
Well, could they not have gone around and came in the back, went around the,
Gold Gate.
They ended up doing that, driving around, but to leave,
Right.
yeah, it was kind of like, let's just try to get them out as fast as we can. But, yeah, they opened it. But it was really nice having somebody that had a key.
Yeah.
They could get out. And I think it's probably more important to have somebody there.
well,
Instead
or,
of security, pay an employee to be there versus security, because,
well, they could also have the gate unlocked, just have it dummy locked.
but I'm
for
just
that
saying when you
event, and
need,
then whoever leaves last just locks the gate, I mean,
so when you have the toilets overflowing, or you have, I mean, that's a lot of people to be there with
is there
nobody.
is there no contact number in the building somewhere?
So every event, whoever signs on to an event, right, they get their event paperwork and there is an on-call phone number for them to call, so.
Right.
But again, in
I
case
didn't
of
see
an
that
emergency,
event, I didn't know where that was.
whoever the event coordinator, who was the event for?
Goes for the Lincoln Day dinner.
Yeah,
Oh,
the Grant County.
So whoever the chair of the Grant County Republican Party was, who was putting on the event, should have had that piece of paper. Whoever signed the event contract with the fairgrounds.
Right.
Would have had that,
I'm
but,
gonna say, a lot of the events that I go to usually have somebody, they either owns a place or is in control of the place. So in case you need a broom, in case you need something weird, in case you need a cleanup, you have somebody. I don't know, I mean, to me, I think it's more important than a security person that doesn't really have access or knowledge.
Kootenai County's Lincoln Day dinner was this last weekend. They had over 400 people show up. They had three $25,000 table sponsors.
Wow.
Kootenai County.
Red State.
But I know who those were.
Maybe, I have no idea. I got the email from the chair of the Spokane Republic because we don't even come close to that with ours, right? So he was just kind of shaming
Well,
us.
sounds like it was a good event.
It was a really nice event, but I just,
It's
kind of,
too loud though.
because, yeah, the music, well, they definitely was like a national convention, it's kind of the hype that they were going for.
Yeah, they
were
try to
really
hype
trying to-
it,
It was definitely hyped. Kind of taking it up to a whole new level,
overhype,
Right.
but it was
They can
nice.
tone it down a little bit, maybe.
maybe.
Okay, so Rob, I'm gonna just ask you, when you go to events, I know you've gone to multiple events, like different, there's usually the owner there or kind of a manager or somebody, an event.
You mean for like how they don't ever have staff there unless
Yeah,
the
I
staff's attending? Yeah,
So to
no,
me,
I've always thought there should be one at a lot of those events, anything bigger.
Yeah.
Maybe a quinceañera, unless it's 500
I
people.
don't know, I
They should probably
really
be
think
there
the
too.
quinceañeras are probably the ones that.
They probably need the
more.
security.
They
Yeah,
need
they do
security
need the
and maybe-
security.
Yeah, so it's a hard,
So maybe we put a security that, I don't know, because they don't have keys to anything, you're security people. They
Public.
literally are just,
would like nonprofit events, that could categorize as not needing security. I don't know.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's your call, right? I mean, you know who the event person is, whether, you're comfortable moving the risk, then you're
I
comfortable.
feel
moving
like
the
I
risk.
like the idea now is that it's, there's already a process that you can request waiver of the.
Yeah,
If you're just late and you forgot, then that's on you.
That's
And
on you, yeah.
well, but I want to make sure that everybody is notified to request a waiver.
Yeah, see, that was one of the things that he mentioned was that he didn't feel like he was told that there was a way to get that way.
Until the last minute.
Slippery slope, though, you start notifying everybody that they can request a waiver, you're gonna have to have some way of justifying it.
Well, then, so why are some getting notified and others don't? See, this is where we need to have it maybe on the
Well, I think
application,
if it's
so.
a nonprofit, then they would be the ones that would be allowed to apply.
I think
for
your
it.
triggering event is alcohol, whether it's nonprofit or not, but.
yeah,
Well,
alcohol is.
I think, I hate to do it to the chamber, but I either think it's like a staff or I hate to put one security, but I think somebody should be there. I think somebody should be there, whether it's one security that has access to a gate or two, or one staff member.
Yeah, because if you have a medical emergency, I mean.
You have something, I mean, somebody
Gotta have
needs to
somebody
know
that-
where,
Yeah.
Make sure the cleanup goes okay. Make sure they're putting the tables away. Nobody knew where the tables were supposed to go. So we said, no, leave the tables up front. No, put the tables back.
So some of that, though, you have to, I'm gonna push back on that a little bit. Those people are, people who come and rent the facilities, they're given ample time to come and meet and see the facility and learn what they're supposed to do. They're told. So when they say, nobody told me, or I don't know, that's not
No, there
necessarily
probably
true.
was somebody that knew.
Yeah.
Just
So
after the tables
somebody
were put
was
out,
supposed to
they're
take
like-
the lead in that event.
Yeah.
And be in
Well,
charge of
sometimes
that.
when you're
so.
trying to hurry and clean up.
Yeah, no, like when we had the event for the YD event, everybody left that night, left all the tables and stuff out. And we planned on coming the next day early in the morning. Well, by the time we got there, staff had already had the place all cleaned up and everything was put away. I'm like, hey, our plan was to come in and get this cleaned up first thing this morning. Oh, no, it's no big deal. We're here in the morning anyway.
Isn't cleanup included in your event?
Sometimes that'll bite you because if they have an event the next morning, they can't wait for you. So
Right.
as long as that's done, coordinated beforehand, that's all good. But sometimes the staff will get in there because they have to set up for a different event.
That makes sense.
Which would make all the more sense to have a staff member there the night that the event goes on to say, hey, chamber, we need these put away over here. And then chamber members would be like, oh yeah, no problem. Put the stuff away where they want it. Probably even help them move them for the next one.
So should that staff member be from the event staff or from the maintenance
It
staff?
should be currently in the position, it should be Shayla. But that's not how you
I
utilize.
think
this
Shayla was there at
position.
the beginning.
Was she?
Yeah, she was outside during setup. But
I
think it was
I
that
wasn't
night.
there, so.
Got there late.
Well, I think it should be very clear in that, when they sign up. These are the things you gotta do to set up, these are the things you gotta do to break down. We expect
And
the
it could
place
have
to at
been,
least
yeah.
take
I
care of
just
it.
feel like somebody, I don't know. I just gotta think if it was my house or my event, I would want somebody there to protect the walls, to protect just somebody. So if you're gonna have the security do it, then give them a little more knowledge, a little more power of where everything is, where the brooms are, where the setup. I mean, I just feel like everybody's like, I don't know. I really security.
Let's drop these concerns in an email to Jim and Becca and schedule a get together with them, maybe when Jim's back or even beforehand if that's not,
But I feel like on
Jim's
15.
making fun of my smile right now.
We could even meet with
somebody-
staff.
Oh, is Jim on board?
They messaged me. Fun of my smile.
Yeah, so we could meet with staff members and maybe,
ask him if he wants a cheeseburger.
Ask him if he wants a second loan.
Well, wait, it has to be 2 weeks. Is there 2 week, 3 week notice? Are we right at the brink?
Item 15. I know one of those is, what, the senior event, what's that, June one?
Which number is that?
the other one's September.
You know what September 17th is, or the,
10/20 is probably the annual meeting, which is like where you decorate tables and stuff. I don't believe there was security there.
the event will take place with security.
It's pushed up.
Do you know what's happening on the 17th? That's coming up fast.
Yeah, Business Expo.
So they're asking us to waive the fee, so they get the room for free, basically.
Which
No
one's that?
security.
15 is waiving security. Debbie had called me, said she was going to request the 610 to reduce or waive the fee.
It's just direct, it's
Yeah, the fairgrounds director
waive the fees.
recommendation is to waive the security fees.
I don't know. I just know that the Republican Party is pretty fired up about that. So if we
So I assume
waive some and not others.
they pay for their You bet, bet.
Yeah, it's usually half price or 75%.
Well, and like I told the board, or the one in charge for the Republican Party, you're gonna have to pay for security because you're serving alcohol. So just make an adjustment on the alcohol you're serving to help pay for it. I mean,
Yeah, you charge $1 extra. I don't even
that's
know.
what I said.
Or drinks free? I don't even
No, I
drink
think
water.
never had.
I don't know, but you.
Yeah,
gotta-
you just account for it.
Yeah, you gotta
Extra
change it.
$1.
And that's,
Well,
I
but I
assume that's
think,
what
I
they
do
did.
feel,
I mean, you don't get something for free, which is the way it is.
so if it's
Say
a
free
business
drinks, where's that at?
expo, is that a daytime or an evening time?
Who's exposed like 4 to 7, I think, 4 to 6,
Okay.
3 to 6.
So
5 to
we can
7.
address that one and then hold off on the June and the October.
The June is no alcohol,
Oh, it's no, why are they?
and it's daytime. Because security is alcohol or no alcohol.
If there's no alcohol, you don't need
They
security.
still have security.
Well, let's address the one on the 17th. And then we need to address where we have a staff member or, this will give us time. Meet with Jim, because I think somebody should be there.
In his emails, he had said that he would be attending all of those events for the chamber.
Well,
On the 17th, he won't.
that was
do
prior.
But
Yeah.
still, that's during the day, so staff would be there for the most part.
I would think staff is there on the 17th.
Yeah.
Because it's I don't know, I'm there. I've got my table.
Seventeenth is a Tuesday night, right? So
Business after hours.
So it is
What are the
business after
hours?
hours?
4 to
It's
7.
business after hours?
4 to 7.
Garden Stripe Shamrock Business Expo at Grant County Fairgrounds. Now, if it's business after hours, they typically do serve beer and wine
Free.
for the members.
Free if you pay a membership and a night entry charge.
Right. Which, I mean, there should be staff there till 7 o'clock that night anyway, typically.
I would think so. but-
Should be, Kevin, but
Yeah, so-
let's address it. Okay, well, let's set up a meeting to meet with Jim on,
When he's back.
in a month.
It'll be sometime in April. First part of April, maybe.
I was thinking, oh, in a month, but yeah, that would be a month, because we're already in March. Okay. You know, the only time we get in trouble is when we make exceptions. It's true.
Wouldn't have they had their security waived if you would have requested it up front and maybe not yelled at staff and everything else that took place?
Well, according to him, he wasn't notified until the last minute when I think it was the jump, he was okay paying it until it kind of jumped up. And then he found out that the chamber doesn't have to pay it
Well,
and the
that was-
realtors.
That was the thing, when he found out that others were getting
Then
it
he
waived.
just got fired
then
up. And he
He got,
thought that he was treated differently.
yeah,
Probably.
what's a different event? And the way he went about it is probably what really caused the problem.
And got him treated differently.
Apparently not very friendly to the
Sometimes
staff.
can be a bit vocal.
Felt like he was being mistreated, like there's something going on.
And again,
And
when you make the
Jim-
exception to some and not others, you do feel like everybody wants to be the exception, but we need to treat everybody exceptionally. So I think I don't have a good answer because I think whatever decision we make is gonna come back to bite us if we just reinforces that.
Well, we just have to
We
make. a
treat
decision.
everybody
Nobody's gonna
differently.
approve it.
So maybe I'll just Google to see how other event.
So if we don't have anything else, we'll go into recess until
Yep.
9:30. 9:24, we'll go into recess until 9:30. Good morning, it's 9:31 and we are here for the prosecuting attorney's office update. Good morning.
Okay. I have three things that all need an executive session for potential litigation. The only other thing is, do you have any questions about the contract list? Everything else is executive session.
No, I don't think I had anything. Thanks for getting the WSP one done for youth services.
How are things going in the prosecutor's office? Feels like you guys are busier than ever and
We are,
things seem to be going well.
we're busier than ever. Brandon has a line on a well-seasoned attorney who, if they decide to leave their current position to come to our office, would be a very good get, like Trevor, lots of experience. I'm crossing my fingers for that.
Trevor was, yeah. good
Trevor's
one.
been a very good get. We did lose a district court DPA this week, so we are kind of running on fumes. That's why Brandon had planned to come today, because Trevor's out. But I'm everyone, and that is okay. So I apologize in advance for continued delays. We're doing our best, but we have about, 10 medium fires, and that's 5 too many. So, I don't know how it goes. But we're doing our best to keep up on the contracts list. Despite all that, all the departments have been very good about getting us hard and soft deadlines, and I think that we've been managing well. Have you heard anything to the contrary, Tom?
No, I want to
No,
say
I'm
things
looking.
seem to be going really well.
Good. I'm very glad. That's what we want to hear. Other than that, do we have anything aside from the three things I need to talk about in executive session for you guys?
And I saw in Brett's update, they made offers to 2 third-year law students or something they think are kind of.
That's very exciting. I love that.
Great.
Awesome. Okay, great. So whenever you guys are ready, if we could go into executive session, it's all potential litigation on all three issues.
So how long do you think you'll need?
Oh, let's do 15 and add if we need to. It might take longer, but I don't want to trap everyone.
Okay.
If we don't need it.
So we'll have to ask you to exit for 15 minutes
Do
while we.
you think you can set my case for trial anytime soon, please?
Were you just
Sorry?
gonna watch or did you have questions?
Oh, no, I was, didn't mean any sense, I was just.
Okay, perfect. Just wanted to make sure I wasn't kicking you out if you had something.
Okay, I'm trying. Got a bad knee here.
Okay.
All right, yeah, just get my case on the docket, please.
So we are gonna go into executive session. It's 9:33. We're gonna go until 9:48. RCW 42.30.110.
Did you get a copy of this
I.
one?
I haven't.
It is 9:48. We are gonna extend executive session for another 5 minutes, come in at 9:03.
I will look into, thank you.
All right,
Oh,
it's
no,
9:53.
don't
We
need
are out of
these.
executive session. No decisions were made.
All right, do we have any other questions for me?
I have a lot of questions. I just need answers, but no,
There'll be more to come.
thank you.
Okay. If anything comes to mind in the interim, you know where to find me.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all.
9:53. We'll go into recess until 10 o'clock. We're back for HR.
Did get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, I want to hear the rest of it.
Good morning, it is 10 o'clock. We're here for HR update. Excuse me, let me get my act together here.
Morning.
Public comment.
We'll open up for public comment. Got me all messed up. Because I don't have it on my screen here. Open forum for public comment, 5-minute limit, human resources related topics only.
Did Kevin not get an
No one
agenda?
in the
No, I-
room this morning.
You have 4 attendees online. Carrie Stockton and Emily Eckhart have no comment. We have GCR guest and Jake Medkey. I have given you the ability to unmute if you have any public comment for human resources related topics.
Okay, hearing none, we'll close the public comment period.
Okay. Item number 2, labor relations, just an FYI this morning that deputy sheriffs, we had one session and mediation, and our next one is scheduled for 2/19. So just, that was it, not a big thing, just wanted to let you know where we were at on that. Item number 3, I don't have anything today. Item 4, I do need to ask for an executive session on personnel disciplinary matters, 5 minutes.
Five minutes.
Yes, please.
Okay, we are gonna go into executive session. It's 10:01. We'll be coming out at 10:06 for personnel disciplinary matters, RCW 42.30.110(1)F.
Sorry.
It is 10:06. We are out of executive session and no decisions were made.
Okay. Top of the agenda, I'm gonna add one just so I don't forget it at the end. So I have a par from Central Services. We're asking for your signature only based on the date that goes back to 2/15/2026. And it's just annual step increase, however it is. What the date was changed by my office, that it needs to go back to the 2/12, and so that there's no issues within payroll, I just ask that you initial the change date and approve that step increase.
Is this a walk-on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, okay.
There's 2 different letters in there.
That,
but We wanted to decide which one.
She was talking about a consent.
oh, yeah, I got that after I said yes, and I turned
When
and
handed
looked.
to me, like I'm gonna sign it, I'm like, wait, this looks like it's consent agenda stuff.
Next
Gonna
one I
be tricking me.
have, yesterday, PMR, we reviewed several positions, so I'd like to go through those and get your direction on that. Renew had an SUDP backfill. Is the board prepared to make a decision on backfilling that position?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And would you like me to wait for Commissioner Jones for the
Maybe we
rest?
can give him for a moment.
Okay. And then I will present all of these and then have you sign them
Is it 3-3?
once he's back.
Okay. Gina?
Yes.
I on the prize. I'm gonna put this right in front of Rob.
Rob, okay.
I'll put it right here, so hopefully you can.
And then his jacket has, skulls,
Skulls on it, yep.
and they're red.
It's the inside of his jacket.
When we're losing it, it's still standing there. Becomes. Rob, I placed a piece of paper on your screen, so it would be obvious that you need to sign it, and Gina is tracking it.
With my eyes.
Yes.
It's obvious.
She's got her eye on the prize,
Oh,
so
jeez. Yeah, it is obvious.
I
Okay.
wouldn't want to lose it.
Commissioner Jones, while you were out, we're going over positions that were presented in PMR yesterday. The first one we did while you were out is the SUDP, the backfill of that position. The other 2 commissioners were approved it. Do you have any input you would like to provide?
Okay.
And then I'll pass them out to have you sign when I'm done. Next hiring freeze exemption is for the ARNP. From Renew, they are asking, this would be a new FTE, but if we were able to fill that FTE, the contract services would be voided.
Somebody yes?
Yes on that one?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Rob, was that a nod? Okay, thank you. Fairgrounds seasonals, they're asking for 2 indoors, 3 outdoor.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I'm okay with that.
Yep.
Thank you. Treatment counselor at youth services. That one was a band and a placement at a step 6 as a promotion. The board is ready to,
Yes.
I'm good with that one.
okay. So that one, I also have the PAR ready for you to sign. So that will also be attached. New Hope, the director of New Hope Kid Hope, with an overlap in order to transfer knowledge.
Yes.
Yes.
Approved? Okay. And out of the commissioner's office, the backfill for the deputy clerk of the board.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Kevin?
I don't know, I think Caitlin can just.
I know, I talked to
So-
Caitlin yesterday about it, and she kind of thought that she could probably do all of it on her
Do
own.
all of it on her own.
No, I'm good to get her.
And that would be a good budget savings, probably of around 95 to 105,000 for our office.
However, I'm going to advise against.
She
Caitlin's like, if
said,
I'm gonna be doing 2 jobs, I'm gonna be paid for 2 jobs.
Yes, I'm sure she can be a superwoman like many of us, but
she said,
we all need help.
I will injure you if you push it.
Right? You're probably already in trouble just for making that funny
And
statement.
then Caitlin, we have a meeting, is it next week to
Yes.
kind of the
Yep.
direction of our office?
Next Monday.
Yes.
Next item, number 6, budget finance and compensation. Just an update on compensation connections. They have everything that they need in the job descriptions and are actively pricing out positions. So more to come on that. That will take some time for them to give us those amounts back, but just wanted to let you know that. Recruitment, I don't have anything. Benefits, no updates. Policy, I did send you a policy 622 to 632. I don't expect you to have gone through them yet. Just wanted to let you know that they are sitting in your in your email. And you have opportunity to review them.
I do, I see that the travel, it was like in yellow letters, different letters, the travel,
Mhm.
I'm smiling on the seats.
Yeah.
I think with different airlines, they're called different things.
They are,
Because
yeah.
What is Coach Plus? Yeah, I mean, they're just like in Delta is like business in Delta is the fully reclining, an international fully reclining seat.
On an international flight,
on
on
an
a domestic
international-
flight.
So I think we need to like
We need
Break
to,
it down.
basically pinpoint, because I'm not gonna lie, if I was gonna go somewhere, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do Comfort Plus. I'm gonna go on that more than 6, I'm going,
Maybe it's simple enough
I wouldn't do
to
it.
say that travel has to be authorized by a supervisor, right? So,
I probably wouldn't even put a supervisor, I would say the commissioners,
Okay.
because some supervisors, I think, would be like, yeah, we're all flying
right.
first.
No, I
of all.
got you. Yeah, no, it makes sense.
No, I
And
think
yeah,
we
and
just
that
need to really look
mitigates
at
that
it.
issue with the various names and different.
And I'm not trying to, make travel
it's good.
miserable, but I just feel
No,
like
it's good.
there is an opportunity.
That's good. And domestically, they don't even have, domestically, Delta doesn't have business class, just Comfort Plus. So it's
right, which
only when
is,
you're flying internationally. So.
I did make that edit in, so it was after you got it, but instead of whatever language, because it was very specific to an airline. After talking to the company, we kind of changed it to be more inclusive. So it says whatever is less than,
What are you doing, sir?
so maybe. we can
Whatever,
send
the
Yeah.
cheap seat, what is the economy, whatever, one step above.
Because it doesn't go that specific, it's just like, we can resend it.
Okay.
Because that was updated. After.
Because I
I
think we
sent
have
it
some
on
offices
Sunday.
that do a great job and others
I
that.
sent it to them on Sunday.
Okay. So
Yeah.
then we'll have
Well,
to-
and are we addressing?
We'll double check it, but
So there are some that will extend like a day or two, just for team building or whatever reason beyond the.
Hey, these are pretty good.
And I don't think we've ever addressed, like the rental car, the hotel. They are still billing the county for the hotel, the rental car. And it is not part of the itinerary. It's not part of the conference that they're going to. It is
sure.
like a fun day. I don't know, unwind day, family day. Which I think people can stay, but they need to be paying for their,
Yes, they should pay
Rental
for their
car
rental
and
car
I think
and
we need to be
hotel.
kind of readdress it.
I had a fun day. I paid.
It's a fun day.
So do you want that, does
I
the
think
board
we
want
need
that
to.
shored up more in the policy?
Yeah.
And the
Thank
fun
you.
day actually may bring benefits to Grant County, but.
We're gonna call it Rob's Fun Day.
No, and it's not Rob that is.
No,
It
just
is
Cindy's
all
fun day, but I like the fun day, like that will help remind me to
Yeah.
put language in there.
My first couple of years, I paid every amount over
Well, and
the GSA rate.
I think there are conferences that are, I mean, the hotel is just over the GSA rate. Like a WASAC conference, the hotel rooms are gonna be a little bit more. But you wanna stay at I think we need to address that too, instead of the
Almost every hotel is over the GSA rate. They just,
Well, that's what my point is my first couple of years, the county was making me pay the difference while we signed off on many that didn't pay the difference.
and I think you were getting hosed because they're
Oh, I
not
was
doing that to
getting
other
hosed.
people
It was a
because
good time,
normal
but-
employees were not being made to do that.
No, I know.
The government rate.
Even
So,
people that were at the same places and you didn't have to do it,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
So what is the recommendation then?
if you get the government rate.
If you can do the government rate, good. Some people don't realize that when you book a room, we do have a government rate. I am surprised how many people don't realize that we can use the government rate.
sometimes the government rate though is,
Not even that good.
yeah, sometimes
Rob, you didn't approve this one.
I've seen $600 government rates.
And
Well,
if
and
it-
also I've called hotels that don't offer a government rate, and so you don't stay at that hotel, you go to another,
Well, sometimes
the
if a
conference
conference
is there,
though, you've got it, they usually have a rate.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, I don't think if they're going to a conference and the room, Rob needs to sign away, the room is $50 more. I think the county should pay for it because it is a
Okay.
government sanctioned event.
So you're proposing that the county, just so I'm clarifying for the record,
Other commissioners, what do you
Cindy's
think?
proposing to, at a conference, the hotel for the conference is more than the government rate, that the county will cover that cost.
Yeah, I think it's a conference that the
Okay.
county, and it's at that hotel.
Thank you.
And that's basically the hotel that they're recommending.
Right.
No, if they're having a conference at like the Gaylord and they're like, but everybody's staying here, in a different one, then stay at the.
See where it is.
I think we
Okay.
should have some flexibility in that.
So the other two commissioners, what say ye?
I think we kind of already do that, except for everybody but Rob.
Yeah, I agree.
But to put it in
Yeah.
policy language, you're good?
I can now. It was just before.
So that was a yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
As far as Comfort Plus, XYZ, I think I would still probably pay my own upgrade, even if we allowed staff to do it.
So could
That's
we-
very responsible of you.
So I'm just
Very
gonna,
fiscally responsible.
while it's on my mind, go into an executive session for like 3 minutes. Caitlin, you guys can stay.
Yep, what? Would you like an executive session on?
Job applicant evaluation, job application, job applicant, I can't read. Sorry.
That's cool.
3 minutes,
Well, let's go 5.
5 minutes.
Okay, we're gonna go into executive session. It's 10:19. We'll come out at 10:24 for job applicant evaluation, RCW 42.30.1101G.
Discussion.
It is 10:30. We are out of executive session. No decisions were made.
That is all I have for you today. Does the board have anything further for me?
I want to talk about AI a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So it was surprising when we were at NACO. A lot of discussion about AI. I was part of a specific training where a moderator at first raised his hand and said, how many people have a data governance plan? And this room had about 200 people in it. And there were only 2 of us that raised our hands, which blew me away. I can't believe that every other county in there didn't. And then they asked the question, how many people in here have cyber insurance? And there was only like 4 of us, which I can't believe that counties are still not doing that. But he talked about the problems that his county was facing with AI. And I asked the question, how many people know the difference between what an AI platform does with your data when it's the free version or your paid enterprise version? And everybody was deer in the headlights except the guy moderating. He's like, I'll tell you what it is. And nobody was aware that when you're using a free version, like this person or somebody may have been doing in one of our departments, that information is used to train AI models. It's not private. It's sent to their partners. So none of that is private. If you're paying for it, like we, so that we pay for Seats and Perplexity.
Right.
That agreement is that none of the data can be used for training the model. It is all private. Perplexity deletes it within 7 days unless we save it, if it's saved in your personal deal.
Right.
So there's big differences, and it's really surprising how people don't recognize that. So a lot of counties are completely locking down the ability for anybody to even reach those sites, period, even Microsoft Copilot. So we had this discussion in GCTS yesterday afternoon for about 30 minutes. We debated this. And we're probably going to be bringing something to the commissioners pretty soon where we're going to lock down those sites because we don't want anybody using ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or Microsoft Pilot or whatever, whatever it's called. Yeah. Copilot. Until we've done very specific training and we've added that to our computer use policy. And then we can, explain the risk to electeds and department heads and let them make that call. But specifically elected, say, this is the risk you take. And just like any other policy we have, if you decide to go rogue and go on your own, you take the risk with you.
Yeah. Okay. So because I know that at some point through our policy updating, Joe had shared that policy was being worked on. Are we getting any closer to having an AI policy?
They're still working it. It is moving.
Okay.
And it's not so much an AI policy as much as it is an addition to our data governance policy, because AI is a tool that you use with your data. So it's not necessarily an AI policy as much as it is the data governance of how you.
Okay. And you're right, Gina, our policy does speak to it, but I'm wondering if the being more specific of can't use free versions of.
Well, and one of the things we're missing, so we were able to bring down our cyber insurance cost by $130,000 this year because we've taken certain steps, right? So that was a reduction in GCTS's budget, a very real reduction. One of the things that we can do to also help bring that down is we have to be able to prove and track regular quarterly training with all employees. We're going to work on that as well. So,
Well, we have our training platform.
Yeah.
We can use those trainings or
NACO has trainings.
if
that
there
we
are
can use too.
trainings we can put into that platform, and then it's all tracked.
Anyway, so it's just kind of a heads up on some of the AI stuff, right? So.
More discussion to come, I'm sure. Okay. Anything else?
I don't have anything else. Anybody else?
Nothing.
Okay.
That's it.
That's all I've got then. Thank you.
10:35, we'll go into recess until 11 o'clock. Good morning, it is 11 o'clock. We are here for our commissioners meeting. I'll call the meeting to order. Open forum for public input, 3 minutes per person, 15-minute time limit. We have Jerome in the room would like to say something.
I'd like to address item 15 on your agenda this week about waiving the security for Moses Lake Chamber of Commerce events at the Grant County Fairgrounds. We had a discussion last week about this, and I feel that if you're going to charge one person that meets the parameters for security, you need to charge them all. I don't know whether this one meets the criteria for having security, but if it does, it should be required for them to have security. And I think there should be written protocols for when not to have security. I don't know if there are or not, or if it's just on someone's recommendation. Anyhow, that's my 2 cents.
Thank you, Jerome. I appreciate it.
Anybody else?
Yes, sir. My name's David Dorman. I know Cindy, but I haven't met you two folks from the time that I was in the Republican Party. But I'm a retired Air Force colonel, police chief, multiple times, responsible for over 2,500 people in one agency, and award-winning guy. I wanted to talk about traffic safety, and I need to ask a question because I don't know what you guys have passed yet. But have you approved off-road vehicles to go between I-90 and the dunes on Potato Hill Road yet?
No.
Okay. That's what I was asking, inquiring about. I've lived out in Pelican Point for about 20 years since I retired. And the road speed limit change seems schizophrenic. It's 50 miles an hour from the fire department to Highway 17. It was 40 for years from I-90 out to the dunes. It got changed to be 50, just like the other road, and it seemed to be perfectly fine because traffic flowed properly. Nobody really sped because 50 was a good speed to drive. And then all of a sudden it went not down to 40, but to 35. Okay, when it changed to 35, average citizens have become law-breaking, reckless drivers because the road has a dual yellow line painted all the way out. So there's no passing zone from the interstate south. People regularly pass and speed on that road now that it's 35 because they're can't plan, can't get to work on time, and they take it out by being reckless drivers. I talked with a deputy out there one morning, and the sheriff's department, for whatever reason, is not training their officers to what ordinances say. Because I asked him about several ordinances that I remember being on the books when I first moved here. Matter of fact, there was a little booklet from the ORV group that talked about boating laws and off-road vehicle laws. And one of the things that was in it is no noise after 10 o'clock at night and a whole bunch of other things that go on the lakes and out on the dunes. So in that regards, the sheriff's department is not keeping their folks up to date, and people are constantly driving on Potato Hill Road in off-road vehicles. They speed, they don't have mufflers, there's no spark detectors, and it's just gotten out of hand. And also, out at the dunes, they used to have ORV deputies that kind of took care of things out there. Now, people come in from out of town, they shoot fireworks at all times of the night. A lot of times they're out there practicing for their drag racing at 3 o'clock in the morning. I have a well-insulated house. We're on the approach end of the runway. Boeing tests their new airplanes all the time. I can't hear a one of them, regardless of size. Navy comes by with FA-18s. If I'm in the house, I can't hear them. But at 3 o'clock in the morning, my house is on the backside on the second floor, and I can hear those dragsters out at the dunes. I can hear everybody without a muffler because for whatever reason, it's at the right frequency range to come through the windows on my house. And it's keeping everybody up, okay? Now they're building that new subdivision on the front side of us, and soon they're going to be filling in the other side. And I cannot imagine the people who live at Dune Lakes who spend $1 million on a house having to listen to this all the time. And the sheriff's department just seems to be clueless about doing anything about that. They're not out there running any radar. There's a little sign up there that has a speed limit. I had a guy pass me 86 miles an hour one day. And after about 15 minutes waiting for a deputy to get off a personal phone call, he rolled the window down and I complained to him. He says, "How do you know they were going 86? I says, "Because that's what they went through radar on." He says, "Well, you got a radar?" I said, "No, the county does." And that's the kind of attitude it is. I mean, I'm not trying to bang too much on the sheriff's office, but they're ignorant of the laws that you guys have passed. And at some point, people are going to get upset and start taking it out at the voting box. You know, because we're getting more and more out of towners moving out there. And they're going to expect that the law is going to be enforced. So I just ask you guys to think about that.
So you're telling me currently right now you have side-by-sides running up and down Potato Hill Road?
Absolutely. And the other thing they do, I didn't mention, is in order to try to get around what they feel is violating the law, as soon as they get to the first road on the right, they turn in there and go through our subdivision. And they think, because it's 35 miles an hour or 25 in some places, and they think that's the only requirement there is that you have. You know, you have to have that approval by the governing agency that says they're allowed and 35. But everybody out there where I live is really afraid about that. And somebody asked and complained and says, well, there was this big accident by the fire department. There was one accident. It was sort of like Moses Lake when they took Division Street and took it from 4 lanes to 2 lanes. Oh, it was accidents. And somebody got to looking on the accidents and it was not any change between the 4 lane and the 2 lane. So that's not a real good excuse, and it's not real good data that they're using. But I can tell you that as I drive back and forth, people pass me all the time because I'm gonna drive the speed limit. I'm gonna make my kids drive the speed limit. And people pass me all the time, and not just kids in hot rods. I'm talking about people in Escalades and Lexuses and little ladies going to get a haircut. It just encourages speeding by having a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit, and people can't plan. And they just go out there and do that. And then, again, the 4-wheelers are out there on the weekends. And I understand that the Scorpions have a lot of clout, but it really is dangerous the way they drive because they don't drive the speed limit. They think because they're off-road that nothing applies to them. And it really is wicked. You know, we used to have this little road that went beside my house. It was right in that field where those that subdivision's being built, and they would cut through there. But now that they're building the subdivision, they actually just come down the street and go through Pelican Point and then drive out and come back in. And it used to have a hole in the fence at the end of Dune Lakes, but they put some big concrete Jersey blocks out there and stopped that. But people come from out of town and they just go out there. They drink as much as they used to. Y'all passed an ordinance about no drinking out there. The sheriff's department used to do checkpoints. They don't do anything like that now. And it's a free-for-all. And, you know, we gauge how big a weekend it is by how many helicopter rides there are. And now it's going to be straight across my house with the hospital moving. You know, I mean, we're just going to see it all the time. But I just ask that y'all be aware and something. But that little booklet was a nice thing. It was posted on the website, but I think the sheriff's department had it printed up about these ordinances and they could pass it out. And, you know, if you just a little education, maybe people would understand that that's just, you know, until you guys approve it, it's just not the right thing. Same way on the lake with, you know, noise out there. You got drag boats and all that stuff. It started at 10 o'clock at night, you know. And,
Okay.
so thank you.
Thank you.
Had more than my time.
Thank you, sir. Yes, Jerome.
I'd just like to reiterate that this gentleman is completely correct. I was going out on a cruise with my wife, and we go down that way so we don't have to get on the highway, go down through Mardon. And in that section that he's speaking about by the where the radar sign is, I was driving 35, 2 cars passed me.
And that was a request, I was gonna answer, that was a request by the landowners, the homeowners in that area to reduce it from, I don't know if it was 50 or 40, to reduce it to the 35 because they had a lot of driveways and people were walking through there. So it was a request from that area, did a traffic study, reduced it. And they must have traffic signs out there and we'll have to do a traffic study.
There is
Whether we do the traffic
signs,
study or
and there's a dual yellow line that goes all the way out, but
We'll have to talk to the sheriff's department about maybe getting some more deputies out there.
But Public Works can look at it and they will tell you how many vehicles, size of the vehicles and the speed.
Yeah.
So we'll have to do, we can ask them to do a
and they
study.
put the radar trailer out there for a good while when they changed it. But that doesn't change what happens at 7 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock, actually 8 o'clock when people are running late. But yeah, there's, anyhow. I happened to be here for something else and I thought, well,
No, thank you for
Well, thanks for
stopping by and
coming in.
letting us
yes,
know.
sir,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to the approval of the agenda.
We have
Oh.
4 attendees.
Yeah, they got it online attendees.
2 of them are staff, Emily and Carrie. They've said they have no public comment. You have Adriana Boone and GCR guest. I've given you the ability to unmute if you have any public comment.
Hearing none, I move to approve the agenda as presented
I'll second.
with walk-on item.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The agenda is moving on to correspondence, emails received that need response, letters of support, etc.
Did receive an email from Pat Ross just a little bit ago. I forwarded it to the commissioners. It's about Quadco
Yeah, I saw that.
follow-up.
I am on Quadco. Today?
Yeah, just this morning, or just a little bit ago.
Okay, I do not have it. Oh, right here, Caitlin. Okay, sorry, I was looking for, yep, Quadco's.
Says that they're not really. Communication's not good, apparently.
Okay, the warden must be the lead this year. Wait, no, that's Board of Warden. Okay, I'll get through this. I haven't had time to. Let me just forward that to, I think Kelly Hodges.
Person that's in charge of Quadco.
Contest. I think it's Kelly Hodges, so I'm gonna. Not to Kelly. Done. I don't have any other correspondence. I have a note to visit with Andy about a traffic study at Lagoon Lake area.
Well, I understand his frustration because I've been out there and when it's 45-mile-an-hour speed limit and people pass you like you're sitting still. So, I mean, I don't think it makes any difference what the speed limit is. They're still gonna pass people. Just,
That's the only thing that slows that down is a little.
A little weird.
A little.
and the ORV park has been there for, as far as I can remember,
And those side-by-sides are coming out of their neighborhood.
many, many years. And the side by sides that are driving around out there are coming from that neighborhood. So, I mean, maybe they need to do a little, their
Yeah,
HOA
we
needs to
can,
do something about their.
It's probably time for a little traffic study out there. We can figure out how fast they're speeding. And Public Works does have a deputy that does traffic.
They have 170 new lots coming online.
Right.
So, I mean, the speed should be 35 in my opinion.
Oh,
My road's 35 and it goes a lot of places. That
I'm
road
surprised
goes
it is
nowhere.
that you should champion to get it moved to 50.
No, I like to have people pass me at 75 and a 35. I just wish I had like an honorary blue and red light every time it happens. Like,
You could be, can't you do the weekend warrior where you,
no.
Maybe you'd like to become a sheriff's.
Reserves.
that's what it's called, the reserve.
All right. Do you have any other,
I don't have anything else on that.
do you have any round table items?
Yeah, I'm still at a loss over what to do, just because on number 15, if we at least have security or a person there, I do believe they need something, and then we can, because the 17th is getting up, and Jim, I believe, said it takes 2 weeks to get the security
Correct.
personnel.
Well, the 17th is just business after hours. It's nothing,
We got a new calendar.
nothing major. So I think we're planning on having a roundtable with Jim and when he gets back and talk about this.
You
Right, yeah,
probably
figure it out.
won't have a roundtable with Jim by the 17th.
No,
No, but we need to do something, but I do feel like we either need a security or a employee there.
which on the 17th, there should be somebody on staff for that
Till 7
event.
o'clock at night.
Yeah, normally that one, Chris is there.
I
Jim
can,
is there.
I can reach out to staff there and discuss this
Okay.
offline after
Okay.
the fact, so.
Yeah, usually they're there.
So do we want to waive security then for that one event? Or,
I don't know. To me, it would just depend on number of people and for this one, the alcohol, which you know it's going to be there. So number of people expected. I mean, if it's comparable to this recent one, I think that we would leave the security.
Okay.
And then we need to form the decision after that.
yeah,
Just
just
to
kind of,
keep
maybe a
it-
checklist of,
Yeah.
if there's music provided, if there's dancing, if there's.
We'll work on the scheduling.
My only one I had questions on.
So just
Want to approve the 17th and hold the 2 dates?
well,
I was gonna vote
you
no on that.
know, so we could just
Just remember it.
remove it. Yeah, we'd probably just remove it. Then we just need a round table on that. I think the 6/10 date, that's senior picnic. Staff will be there. It's a daytime event, no alcohol. I have no
But we have
issue
time to address
waiving
that, yeah.
security on that one.
Yeah, let's. I feel like I have more questions than I'm gonna have answers.
Make a motion on that?
So, okay, that, over there.
We have more round
Table,
table.
all right, I'll take that. Sorry, jumping down here.
So I've shown you guys that final proof of the blank cards for the commissioner's office. Are you guys good for me to order 250 of those? Be about $330. And then a couple of weeks ago, I was directed to reach out to Rochelle about getting quotes from local printers for the tourism travel planner. And she received quotes from a couple, there's Minutemen Press in Spokane, I have National Color Graphics in Spokane, and then the original quote from Journal Graphics, which is in Tacoma, I believe. This one says Portland. So Journal Graphics was about $24,000 for printing. The National Color Graphics in Spokane was about $35,000 for printing, and Minuteman Press in Spokane was about $44,000 for printing.
And what were the others?
Those were the only three that she was able to.
Oh, I thought we had
get.
a previous number.
No, the previous number was the 24,000.
And then is that with the wrong size books or the right size books?
I believe this is with the full-size plan.
Which is not what we were doing, so we can't really judge that.
Would you like me to proceed?
I would probably proceed with, do we just send an email that we're still waiting to make sure that it's the smaller size planner as discussed and planned for the last
Year.
10 months.
I will reach out.
I assume that would change the cost of printing.
Yeah, it should be less.
Should be.
Special size, it's more.
That's what I was gonna say.
Cuteness factor, yeah, they're gonna charge us more. Thank you, Caitlin, for.
Thanks,
putting that
Caitlin.
Anything else?
That's all that I.
Anything for you, Tom?
Well, actually, yeah, so the walk-on items, the letter of support for the city of Ephrata, you have two versions. I'd appreciate
it was right here, what happened to it?
I'd appreciate you signing the version with the commissioner signatures, so it's just got more impact than mine.
What was the other walk-on item then? I have the congressional request for,
City of Moses, City of Moses Lake.
we don't have Moses Lakes yet.
You should, it should be part of that.
And City of Ephrata and ours. There's three.
But I thought ours made it on the
Ours is
agenda.
on agenda.
Okay.
There's three. I just meant 3 letters total. So.
I only have
I only have
Ephrata.
I only have the two.
I have Tom's and then ours. I don't have Moses Lake.
They were sitting right here.
Where's the
We
folder?
got it.
It might be right there, Tom.
So
Might be that
the
one.
one for the coroner's office
Is on the agenda.
is on the agenda, yes. It should just be City of Ephrata and City of Moses that are the two walk-ons.
All right, I got them. I'm good. I'm ready.
Okay, so I'll make a motion, but before I do that, do we want to pull number 15 or deny number 15?
I would remove because we'll probably approve the other two differently.
All right. So, Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the consent agenda items 1 through, can't count that high. 1 through 33, removing item number 15, the approval request for the fairgrounds for the security, removing that one.
I'll second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second to remove, or accept items 1 through 33, removing item number 15. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
All right, Mr. Chair, I move to approve 2 walk-on items today, one being a letter of support for the city of Ephrata for congressionally directed spending request for a law enforcement city services center for $6,187,500. And the second request from the city of Moses Lake for a second lake crossing environmental impact statement fund request.
I'll second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the 2 walk-on items. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Gosh, I hope I can sign
Gotta sign
32
fast.
times.
5 minutes.
Good to see you too.
Warm up your hand and fingers.
Oh, yeah.
What do you got at 11:30?
Winter is like April. It's crazy.
Look at that.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
This is the accountability engagement letter of the state auditor's office.
I gotta call them, by the way. Not me. Not that I'm aware of.
Not yet anyways.
Not yet.
Minutes for the week of January 26th.
I'll move it so I'm not so far away. Sure felt really high or something.
Minutes for the week of February 2nd.
Who's stressing you out? Rob. I mean, Rob will probably leave. He'll be happy. Just kick him out. Just kick him out.
Pick me.
Minutes for the
Fine,
week
I'll
of
just
February
leave.
9th.
I'll just leave.
Of course, they gotta get the left.
I know, I thought we were gonna switch them all for Kevin.
I thought it was a majority thing with the board.
No.
Two out of three, it's a
What are we
quorum,
doing?
right-handed.
We're gonna let him have the left-handed.
Minutes for the week of February
paper
16th.
clips.
Oh, yeah, I'm totally fine.
We're gonna be like, wow.
He's kind of the
this
big
is
deal this
majority.
year.
Yeah.
He's a big deal
He's
this
the
year.
guy.
Okay. Next week, they'll all be,
And we'll be,
they'll all be prepped
don't-
for.
And we'll be like, why is
don't
this
worry,
not
like,
open?
oh, I hate this.
That's the resolution to rescind 26.015 CC and creating the assessor's office recording fee fund.
Just put it in the middle, then we'll be like,
Some of them are in the
split
middle.
the difference.
The document recording surcharge distribution fee. Agreement.
Oh, you can just sign your name and stamp it. Did you ever think you'd be like the head one in charge down here?
Planned on it when I
You
started.
planned on, you're like, I'm here to take over.
Saw Barb's job and I said, that's it.
That's the one I want.
And she was probably like,
You can have
you're
it.
gonna have this
Document
job
recording
someday.
surcharge distribution. Well, at the time it was Brittany. Brittany was gonna have the job someday.
And you're probably thinking, Barb, I want to figure out utility billing. That sounds like a better job then.
Special occasion liquor license application. From what I gather, utility billing is.
Is it, I don't know.
Barb messaged me, she was on her, you know, because it runs a little different there, right?
Right.
She was on her, what does she call it? It has a real name, but like her
Supervisor's
mental
office,
health
letter
walk.
support.
Her mental health,
Okay.
15-minute mental health walk.
It's not a break.
It's a mental health walk. I was like, that's, we need those.
Well, I thought it was a break. You can call it whatever you want.
I think you get a break also.
Oh, and a mental, are
Letter of
you
support,
serious?
This is the Port of Police City.
So new. I'm on a 3-hour mental health walk.
Is that what you guys have planned to
I
do?
just like to have 3 hours in that house.
Letter of support, Port of Quincy Rail.
I don't know. I don't know how people, speaking of walking, I've got the under the desk, which I have to struggle. I can't watch TV. I can read a book and it has to be right in front of me or read an iPad. 4 miles an hour on
Request from the Port of Quincy to use the logo on the letter of support.
I need to walk today.
a little desk because it's not real wide. I mean, it's, if I have a broken leg, I will not be surprised because I
Is it
literally
designation
can't look
letters?
anywhere else.
How are the three of you gonna get to the crime lab on the 13th?
My car.
You're gonna walk.
How do you want us to get there?
Well, I'm trying to figure out with Dan Dale, so I do have the auditor's van available, it holds 11. But I think we're gonna be 1 or 2 seats short, so.
I'll drive the auditor van.
You'll drive the auditor van?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
It lays rubbers, so be careful.
I'm putting you down right now.
It actually drives pretty good unless it's windy.
I don't know. My highway driving, she's a little. At least that's what I'm told.
It's a parking downtown Seattle. It gets scary.
They're like, Rob, stop texting. I'm like, I'm not.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we have the drug ban. Why do we get rid of that druggy ban?
Probably because we keep calling it a druggie van.
Cindy, you're gonna drive yourself?
I guess the downside to driving the van is I have to come over here first.
Have them pick you up at your house.
Yeah.
I have done that. before.
Somebody riding,
Not my house, but in town.
if there's somebody else riding in the van. Leave one empty
Just
seat in there.
hitchhike to a,
Well, the van will be full. Prosecutors.
Oh,
Oh, dang, I'm driving the prosecutor.
yeah.
so if you get pulled over,
They're gonna be
you've
like,
got a
you
bus
shouldn't be
full of
texting.
attorneys.
Let's go ahead and speed, because they don't care. They can get you out. They
Defend
won't
me.
prosecute you.
Defend me.
They'll speak for me.
Be singing the wheels on the bus.
I don't know. I was telling Rick, it's like, when you drive, that thing goes, you're taking two wheels. You're taking it on two wheels around the corner.
My daughter moves all the way to us on the bus, so,
Do you ever forget them?
no, I feel like a sleeper agent a little bit with those. So the reimbursement request.
I don't know.
Reimbursement for,
Wheels on the bus go
rural
round and
water
round.
district.
I know like that, those words.
Reimbursement request from
You can kind of make up your own.
Wipers
Sure
on the
there's more.
bus,
Kids on the
Driver of
bus
the
go
bus.
up and down,
Oh, yeah.
up and down.
reimbursement request from new,
Grandma's on the bus go, shh, be still, shh. Well, that was a mom.
mommies and the daddies on the bus.
They say mommies and daddies on the bus?
Dad's on
Mommies
the
on the
bus.
bus go, shh, and the daddies on the bus say, I love you. And the
Oh, I
babies
didn't
on
know
the
that.
bus go, wah, wah, wah. It's an amendment
And what
to
comes after that?
an existing agreement.
The ants on the bus go.
The windows on the bus go up and down.
The ants, what's the
Yes.
ants do?
There's ants on the bus?
There's gotta
There's
be an
not
ant.
ants on my bus.
There's gotta be an ant. They're always the wild ones.
You mean
Apple's,
ants
Apple's
like
raising the price on MacBooks
Ants
by
or
$400
ants like
because
ants
of
the
No,
bug?
aunt,
Okay.
aunt, an aunt.
Just
Okay,
saw,
I
I
need
just
to-
saw the.
I do not
Aunt.
normally say
The
aunt,
aunt.
I just need
Yeah,
to.
it's the
DCFS right
AUNT.
after this and tell them to get that thing ordered.
I'll go
Emergency
with you.
management amended
Well,
agreement.
not after this. I would like the little bigger one,
Yeah,
but other than that,
Back it up here. There's a backlog.
I don't know, there's a lot of saying.
There's a lot of those designation letters. This is, ooh, request from the fairgrounds to purchase the chairs and tables. This is the request to purchase trees.
You know, sometimes you can tell by somebody's signature if they're fun or,
Request to purchase a used 14-foot grizzly bar.
or if they're just trying to
Grizzly
get
bear.
done.
if they're sloppy or.
Request for Susie Bodie to DocuSign,
I'm old.
appointment and oath of office. Evans Creighton Lackey.
Right. Kevin, you got a solid signature.
Just use my stuff.
Leading trail. Everybody keeps asking for their stamp, but we need more when you sign it by hand, in the words of one Commissioner Rob Jones. Request for the chair to sign updated right-of-way policies, procedures policy.
I thought it did mean more to sign it by hand. I mean, how lame would that be?
We should play that game where you do a signature and you've got to guess somebody's signature to their picture, you know, like, I wonder who's this guy.
Which one looks like Cindy?
Yeah.
Which one looks
Well,
like
you know how you're just like doing
But
random.
you-
Nobody would guess mine.
No.
I'm definitely not as.
Well, no,
good
but
as
you
my
know how you're,
signature.
oh, wait. Okay, you're going around like this, right? Am I doing
It'll be okay. As long as they all get to me,
20,
it'll be fine.
21?
Purchase order 1060, sorry.
Are you sure? You're giving us a little flexibility.
It'll be all right. As long as they stay in their packets, the order of it will be fine. Purchase order 1062, Evidex.
We need to have a retreat. We can have some team building. With our elected officials, we have some new elected officials and
Team charter
department
thing,
heads.
right?
What's that?
Team charter thing, retreat.
Yes, it is. It's coming.
Team what?
The team charter.
We're doing a team charter, a team retreat.
You're taking a part in it.
Purchase order 1063, Ted Nittick.
You're a graduate of HPL, so you have to be there.
I think HBL was great.
You can do it again.
But we haven't had a retreat we have new department heads, new elected officials.
Yeah, but this is specific for something. It's not just a kumbaya.
Letter of support.
No,
for
but sometimes
Canadian
you're kind of
Trader.
like, what do you want to see the vision?
I don't know if you want this, just to have for Lindsay's, that's your,
Oh, okay,
the
sure.
one from you.
Thanks.
last one, letter of support, City of Moses Lake.
I'll make Rob happy.
What?
Carl Isaac.
Okay.
The other Rob.
I mean, a second crossing would make me happy.
We're gonna get all the money, so.
2.2 million of the dollars. I think we will. We are serving multiple counties.
People were pretty happy about that.
They were like,
It was also a red and a blue thing.
And we're asking about the
it's an everybody.
Yeah, it's an everybody thing.
All the things we're doing are everybody things.
senior centers. We're asking.
We
Okay.
have pointed out, Kevin, that some of the things that we get money for,
Okay.
we don't even really do
I'm thinking
anything
it-
for Grant County people.
Yes.
Thank you, Caitlin. Okay, we are in recess until, did we go over?
We did, just a little bit. The Conservation District is here.
Okay, welcome. Hello.
Hello.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
No
Didn't
problem.
realize it took us so long to sign papers, but apparently it did.
We got here early too.
Well, you could have come inside.
Out of here,
Out of here.
have a good day.
Thanks for volunteering that.
Thanks for coming in.
Appreciate it.
Stay out of trouble, Jerome. We don't want to have to bail you out,
Okay.
but we would.
You would bail him out?
We got in trouble.
That's-
Would you like, where's Jerome?
I screwed it.
No.
Used to touching that thing, turn it off. So it is 11:38. We're here for the Columbia Basin Conservation District update.
Okay, I'll start out today. As you may or may not remember, the VSP 5-year report was turned in recently. All the expectations were met. The big takeaway for us is that several of the agencies want us to do increased monitoring for them in the future. With our current VSP budget, I don't think it's realistic for us to take on that goal, so we may or may not be working together with you. I guess it's mainly the Washington State Conservation Commission that allocates the funds for that. I just want to bring it to your attention that was, although all the expectations were met and they said that our district did a very good job, most of the agencies are wanting us to take on additional monitoring. On the Moses Lake Watershed Council, we have a grant for 27 through 29 that we just got awarded to do some more riparian buffers and a lake circulation study that'll aid us in understanding how the water's moving through Moses Lake with all of the new moving pieces. Water maybe not coming down the Rocky Coulee Wasteway, more water coming down Crab Creek Channel, projected W20 lateral. This computer model would give us 3D modeling on the lake, including what they call heat graphs, which would be different layers of water temperature, so we can understand how that water is going to move through and help the Bureau understand the impacts of how they move the water through, just help everybody. We're working with the Bureau on that closely. And then on our West Shore Drive, we have 7 septic to sewer conversions completed. We'll be doing the other 3, I think, this summer still, so we'll have 10 total that we'll put in out there. We have a grant application that will be going in this Friday for additional material to be put in the lake for this phosphorus sequestration. The grant application is going to be for 9.8 million, so this will be for a biggie. And I think that is it for me, unless you have any questions for me on any of the things that I mentioned.
I don't have any questions for what you mentioned, but I do have kind of just an odd question. But in the new development out by Dune Lakes and Dune Farms, 170 residents plus plans for more phases in the future to cover 1,100 acres. every house has a septic,
Yes,
but we have the Moses Lake treatment plant literally like a half mile away.
yes,
But they're not in the UGA,
that's correct.
so they don't connect to sewer. But the ground out there isn't really the best kind of ground for a septic either. Is there any path to where that would have been connected to sewer?
So Department of Ecology reached out to us when they saw the plat plan for that and asked us to make comments. Our comments were generally that we didn't think it was a good idea for the reasons you just stated. Obviously, it's sandy soil. And if anything, we would like to take a lot of those old septic tanks off. And the West Shore ones have ended up costing us around $45,000 each. So it's not really, and who's going to fund that? You know, DOE is not going to continue. This was a pilot project out on West Shore to try to build momentum. So you're spot on with your observations. Department of Ecology was not in favor of it. Our conservation district tries not to be political, but we said that we didn't think it was anybody's best interest basically to do that. But that is the story that we got, was that the developer, Jake, was willing to connect to city sewer, but the city was not willing to accept the effluent. And then I know you realize this, but every house that they connect to city sewer reduces the number of equivalent residential units, ERUs, that are available for developers in some other area. So there's also some of that that's factored in there. You know, the old, if it's not broke, don't fix it mentality has been expressed to me. So I think that on our end, I've talked with Jim Anderson Cook about this too, and with Richard Law and with the new city manager, his name escapes me right now, but about having some sort of a more planning between the city and the county. In this instance, I don't know that that would have even changed anything, because if it's not in the UGA, it's not in the UGA, and they're not going to open that up, I don't think, to accept any new.
Well,
What
what if they
what
just
are you
did their own
thinking?
in the neighborhood,
Pardon?
like a countywide,
No, they
county
just,
utility?
they just are doing septics for water and stuff. They did a neighborhood utility,
They
which
could
is
do a
like
neighborhood
a
utility
500,000 gallon holding tank of fresh water.
for
But
septic.
yeah, just interesting. After the West Shore project and then the comments made during that, I just found it weird that we were going to look at, potentially 600 new residents all having septic over the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Just seems kind of
Right.
going the opposite direction.
I totally agree with what you're saying. I just don't know what the fix is for it. One thing that our district is looking into, we tried to do membrane bioreactor pilot project this funding cycle, which is a unit that sits in your garage. It takes your sewer effluent, and you can, out the other end of it, you could drink it or you can use it for lawn watering. Right now, the infrastructure is not there to support that. There's not a vendor that services those or sells them in Eastern Washington. So Washington State Department of Health, Seth Elson from DUNE and myself talked it over, and Washington State Department of Health wouldn't approve it.
Would or would not?
Would not at this time, for the reasons I just stated. They said that they've tried them on Newman Lake over by Spokane, and they're getting a lot of calls from people who say, my alarm's going off. Well, the nearest person that can service this is on the coast. And so it became problematic, and they didn't want us to have to go through that here. But I'm continuing to ping in on that discussion and see when these are available. There's also some larger units. Hitachi, for instance, makes some big membrane bioreactors where you can bring them in and they're modular. You can just stack them. So that would have been an alternative for that development too. But again, Department of Health won't let you sprinkle that water out. Well, the area that they're requiring is the same area that you would have to have if you put in a drain field. So in order for this to be of any economic benefit to the developer, Department of Health is gonna have to reduce that footprint so that the additional money it costs to put in the membrane bioreactor is made up by the higher density. And I'm sure Kevin understands what I'm talking about better than I do. But that's what we're up against right now on those. But those would, if in place, would allow people to recycle their water basically on site and reuse that water for irrigation. So that's kind of the direction that I'm trying to keep going in, but it's just not there yet.
So you're saying that because there's no company here that services those or installs them or knows anything about them is part of the problem?
Yeah, the Department of Health would not authorize us to do a pilot project this funding cycle, but I'll take another look at it for 2028. Our funding cycles, in July, I will do my Department of Ecology grant application for 2028 through 2030. And that's the next time I'll be able to talk with everybody and find out if any of those conditions have changed so we could, because just to get one of those out there and show people, hey, you could water your grass with your wastewater would be worth it.
Well, not only that, they wouldn't have to have a reserve area and they wouldn't have to have a septic system that the pumps go out.
Yeah, right. And I mean, a septic tank, you basically are paying the same amount one way or another. It's just you rebuy it every 30 years, right? The costs are the costs. There's no free lunch, so.
Well, this seems more reasonable.
Yep.
Especially for the,
It solves a couple problems, doesn't it?
yeah, it just doesn't make sense that we can be looking into that a little bit more, especially the properties along the lake.
Yeah. Well, right now, people looking into it are me. So when we get a little further, like when the Department of Health says, yeah, we'll let you try it, then I'll let you guys know and we'll keep working together on it.
Chris also gives her regards. She's actually in Washington, D.C. this week. She's helping advocate for OGWARB and the W20 system. So that's where she's at this week.
Oh, good.
Yes. And then in regards to OGWARB, we're still awaiting the official notice of funding announcement for the new round of RCPPs. What we're hearing is it's going to be max 10 million per application and very competitive this year. The funding was a little bit lower than we had anticipated, so we'll be competing with a lot of other large-scale projects across the nation. And we'll have 60 days to kind of work on our edits on the previous draft. So that's one thing we do have is we did submit for the laterals we're going to be applying for this round. We have all the edits from National last year explaining why we didn't get it to help make a pretty competitive application. So we're hopeful there, and we have things on the ground. We have been paid, things are working, so we can prove to the federal government that we are capable of doing RCPs, because that was a big concern is, can this small office get it all done, get it on the ground, get it done properly, and we were able to prove that. So looking forward to that funding announcement as soon as it comes out. And in regards to state funding, I'm sure you guys are all aware of all the back and forth with state budget between operating capital. It sounds like we should be fine for the 2030 biennium for a lot of our state funding. We'll just have to wait and see, but that's where a lot of the on-farm individual funding is allocated through either the capital or operating budget at the state legislature. So we're still waiting on official word on what each program will look at in the future. And there's really no additional updates for me on state cost share from last round. You guys got the list, and that'll be the list probably until the fall, until we get more applications. There is one application that just opened up for greenhouse gas savings through the commission. It opens, Washington State Conservation Commission. It opens in April. It's for cover cropping, reduced till, plantings, things along those lines. We'll be opening April 15th for landowners. Only 1.1 million for the entire state. So pretty competitive, but we got a couple plantings through last year. You can do what you could do, but a lot of those reduced till drills that we used to be able to fund
are not getting funded anymore just because there's not a lot of funds anymore. That's my update for state. A new program that we are working with at the district is Salmon Safe. I don't know if you guys have heard about Salmon Safe. It is funded through the EPA at the moment. We're in partnership and getting sub-funded, working with farmers, landowners, parks, or even developments to do best management practices, like having a certain amount of habitat, making sure you're spraying the appropriate things at the right time. All the very general practices that I think most of our farmers do anyway, they can go through a third-party assessor for free through the district and get a Salmon Safe stamp on their product, which can help with marketing or contracting or premiums. So that's been a new development at the district. We haven't had one yet, but I'm looking forward to working with some new farmers and trying to get them the biggest bang for the buck just because of the state of ag right now.
Tough for those guys right now.
Yes. Anything we can do to put another tool in the tool belt if they want to pursue. Any questions?
Appreciate that.
Yeah, pretty quick today.
Got any questions?
Nope.
Well, thanks for coming over.
Yep.
I
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
Thank
for
you.
Thanks for
having
having
us over.
I'll see you next quarter.
Thank you.
Hopefully the weather outside is nice. It looks like it's.
I'm not
nice.
wearing a coat, so I'm pretty jazzed about that. Yeah.
It's 11:52. We're gonna go on a recess until next week.